local news that matters. This is KLBK News at 10.
Hey there, thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Madi Salazar, filling in for Emily Falkenberg tonight. Lubbock Police is constantly responding to calls about someone with a mental illness. Since there aren't enough resources to help them, officials with the Lubbock County Detention Center says they usually end up behind bars. A representative at the jail says this is a problem across Texas. About 25% of inmates in Lubbock County have severe mental illness. They say their mental health screenings, special needs programs, and jail pods for mentally ill inmates is helping. Lubbock Police's new crisis intervention team is also recognizing the problem on the streets. But between Covenant Health and Star Care, there are only 46 inpatient beds throughout the city and hundreds of people left to take care of.
We're the only door in Lubbock that can't say no. But if we had a diversion center that added beds, added resources, had social workers, full comprehensive wraparound services, that is what we truly need.
And we're arresting people just because they're mentally ill. It's like arresting somebody for having a broken leg because we don't have a hospital to take them to get it fixed.
They also say the cost of treating a mentally ill inmate is more expensive than sending them to those diversion centers for help. To learn more, we have the full story on our website, everythinglubbock.com. In tonight's 1,000 Thanks, we look at the value of veteran-to-veteran connections being made for patients in interim health care. Even though it can be an emotional journey for the volunteer, it's one that can offer a lasting peace for patients and their families. KLBK's Brittany Escobar has more.
Honoring the men and women who've served our nation. 1,000 thanks from KLBK and Interim Healthcare.
It hits you right in the heart to see the impact you have on the patients.
Mandy Myers says it's touching seeing a patient and veteran volunteer creating that one-of-a-kind bond.
There's a lot of times that some of our volunteers that are new, placed with the patient for the first time, they get a little teary-eyed when they have that moment.
She says there are times when the patient doesn't interact with anyone.
Could be that the patient is nonverbal and they're not really interacting with anybody, but then you come in and they just start talking.
Chaplain and bereavement coordinator Josh Regland says it's because those veterans know they're talking to someone who understands.
They know that they can talk to somebody that has been where they've been situationally, somebody that has experienced difficulties in a theater of war or in a battle.
Regland and Myers work hand in hand to provide their veteran patients with the resources they need.
We've listened to lots of stories before of what these men and women have gone through.
Many of those stories coming as the patients open up.
They feel more comfortable about talking about it because they're talking veteran to veteran. And sometimes the family members are there to listen to the stories that they've never heard before, and they can see that it's okay for that family member to share those stories and that they feel okay with it when before they have not felt okay or felt ready to share that.
That trust going beyond the initial bond.
And I think there's even a connection between the family and the volunteer because they see how much the relationship can form between the patient and the volunteer. And so I think it helps them as well because they know that that's an avenue of peace of sorts for their loved one.
Brittany Escobar, KLBK News.
Thanks so much, Brittany. Myers says she currently has 3 volunteers that assist with the needs of their veteran patients. If you're a veteran that would like to serve in this capacity, information on how to get involved can be found on our website, everythinglubbock.com/1000thanks. An Air Force major in Bexar County is in custody while authorities try to find his wife. 29-year-old Adrienne Nicole McDonald was reported missing on Friday. Authorities say she didn't show up to the gym or her home health business like she normally does. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office says blood evidence has been recovered from McDonald's home. Authorities say they took Andre McDonald into custody fearing he might try to kill himself with a gun he tried to buy on Saturday.
At this point, I think it's safe to say we are considering him a suspect in the disappearance. While we can't narrow down exactly what offense is taken, I think it's safe to say that it's a very real possibility that she could have been harmed physically during some of this.
Sheriff Salazar says McDonald was not cooperating with them and asserted his rights and retained the use of an attorney. Authorities say there is a possibility that Adrienne McDonald is still alive, which is why they're still treating this as a missing persons case. After a deadly cargo plane crashed near Houston a week ago, the National Transportation Safety Board says the flight data recorded has been recovered. It's now being transported to Washington, D.C. for evaluation on Saturday. The cockpit voice recorder was also found, which Chambers County Sheriff Brian Hawthorne says it should have all the conversations throughout the flight, whether the pilots were talking to the control tower, guiding them through during weather issues. The Boeing 767 cargo plane slammed nose first into the shallow waters of Trinity Bay on February 23rd. The crash killed 3 pilots. A wedding emergency has been avoided in Costa Rica for a Houston woman thanks to some friendly airline employees. The bridesmaid left her dress back at home and had no idea how to bring it to the wedding. But social media and Southwest Airlines solved the problem. Rachel Turner, a friend of the bridesmaid, sent out a social media SOS asking if anyone could head to Costa Rica could act as a carrier. That's when Southwest Airlines chimed in. Michelle Reed with Southwest Airlines says the company was happy to get the dress back to the right place after making sure it was okay with customs officials in Costa Rica. The airline told Rachel to head to the Hobby Airport.
One of our core values is to do what's right for the customer, and we like to connect what's important to our customers.
Southwest later tweeted that the dress finally made it to its destination, and now that her outfit is ready to go, the bridesmaid is set to wear the dress at the ceremony yesterday. At least 14 people are dead after 2 tornadoes ravaged through Lee County in Alabama today. Authorities say severe storms have left a trail of destruction, and some of those deaths include kids. Lee County Sheriff Jay Jones says the damage is catastrophic based on the destruction of homes in the area. Dozens of emergency responders were called in to assist with the devastation. Several homes were destroyed or damaged in Beauregard, which is 60 miles east of Montgomery. The National Weather Service says at least a dozen tornadoes touched down across Alabama and Georgia Sunday afternoon. A World War II veteran in Cedar Rapids is getting mail from all over the world for his birthday after his family asked well wishes from strangers. After 92-year-old Barney Hansen's family saw another successful birthday card request for another World War II vet, they decided to continue the social media campaign. A world map in his living room marks the 47 states and 6 countries Barney received mail from. Barney served aboard the USS Mississippi during World War II. He was involved in almost all major battles in the Pacific Theater.
I got the names of everybody that was on that ship. There were 2,600 officers and men on that ship, and I don't think there's probably 50 left. It doesn't make any difference where I go, heaven or hell, I'm going to have friends in both places.
After the war, Barney came home to Cedar Rapids, where he and his wife raised their 5 kids. He is now one of the few surviving crew members of the Mississippi. A Lubbock meditation teacher knows a lot about how to take a break from life and relax. KLBK's Terry Furman spoke with the teacher for us tonight, and she tells us what she learned for our international living.
Helping you take control to live life with a new perspective. Living your best life every day. Intentional living with KLBK's Terry Furman.
Do you want more inner peace, to feel less stressed and anxious and be happier? In this week's Intentional Living, we talked to a certified meditation teacher about the basics of meditation.
It's as old as spirituality is. You know, for as long as people have been reflecting on the nature of the universe and the nature of their own lives, they've been meditating.
Rachel Atkinson is a certified iRest meditation teacher and says the ancient practice is good for both the mind and the body.
Meditation can help us balance the 2 branches of the nervous system, toggle down the fight or flight response, and toggle up the rest, relax, and heal branch of the nervous system. When we affect stress, we affect blood pressure, cardiovascular health, mental health, mood, so increased capacity for focus and attention and learning and memory, decreasing the space that's absorbed in anxiety.
Being in a meditative state can cause what is called the relaxation response.
It would be very similar to a good night's sleep. It's still a calming, restorative state to be in, as well as one that can provide, like I said, insight, creative insight, and ahas as well as the ability to internally and self-reflect.
Giving us a time to pause and to remember that we're always connected. Rachel takes me through the basics, beginning with a mantra.
So a mantra is a way of training attention on the here and now so that we are more present. And the simplest mantra actually is the breath, because it's always here. Right. And you can learn to tune into it and just feel it coming and going. It's something that can open us up beyond ourselves. Right. It can reconnect us with our own heart and the parts of our being that are beyond our thoughts, and turn your attention to you and to what's inside.
Atkinson says keeping your mind focused on your breathing and away from outside influences for as short as 5 minutes a day, and after about a week, you'll start seeing results.
Meditation deepens as you practice. So it's a practice of increasing self-awareness, and that's something that just takes practice. And then at the ultimate end of the spectrum, it's spiritual inquiry. You know, who am I and what am I doing here?
I'm calmer now than I have been all day.
And as you could see, even Kelby got on board with meditation. Now, for more information, you can find more about Rachel and iRest by logging on to her website, breatheatheal.com.
All right, thanks so much, Terry. Starting today, the Mahon Library presenting the Way Things Were, an exhibition by Humanities Texas about Texas settlers and their buildings in the 18 and 1900s. It'll be open to the public all month until the 31st. If you have questions about viewing hours or group visits, you can call the public library at the number on your screen. The City of Lubbock is accepting applications for several board and commissions. We've listed some of the board openings. If you're interested, and you can find applications on their website, and the deadline to submit an application is March 28th. A restaurant owner in Washington, D.C. is opening up his business to people who are sometimes ignored. Coming up, I'll tell you why he wants other owners to follow along. But Kellyanne joins us again for a look at our weekend forecast. Kellyanne, how long are we going to be this freezing?
Oh, we have one more cold day of cold temperatures. We're going to get even colder than it was today. The high temperature of 31 degrees. But like I said, we're going to get even colder. I'll tell you how cold.